So growing up in Oakland, California, I realized that there were some challenges out there in my way. I became really concerned with education and with the challenges in our youth, and I chose to go back to school and become a teacher. In my class, as a person who loved to teach, who came to teaching by choice, who wanted to change the world, and there were students who I couldn't reach. Students, African-American young men, looked just like me, who were not passing my class. And I realized that there was a barrier there. I wasn't okay with just saying, watching them fail and doing nothing about it. I want to be able to inspire them that it just takes some small steps. And through those small steps, you can do some incredible things.
Yeah, so I was really excited to see your theme of small steps, big changes, because to me, there is actually one small step that can change the game for you, the quality of your life, and the world around you. And that small step is simply to pay attention with intention. And what I mean by that is pay attention to what's around you and how you can contribute your unique talents and gifts. Pay attention to your own heart and have the courage to follow it. And then pay attention to each other. You know, listen and be present with one another and awaken the wisdom of the heart and the spirit of another. And that small step, I believe, changes everything.
I was arrested in 2nd grade for environmental vandalism because my favorite sort of meadow with lots of trees and where we used to play war games was going to be developed. Of course, I didn't know what development was at the time. But overnight, there started to be stakes with yellow tape to mark out roads. So my little group of friends decided that if we pulled up all the stakes, maybe they'd go away. And that succeeded for about a month, but then one day they caught us. And perhaps the most embarrassing day of my life was being taken home in a police car and presented to my very stern parents at the door. But that led me down the path of civil disobedience.
I traveled through India's red light districts. So I went to Mumbai, Calcutta, Pune, and West Bengal, and I basically focused on women who've been trafficked into India. There's one thing to read about these women, it's another thing to walk amongst them, and I know that for me it's not very difficult to look human beings in the eye, but I had a really, really tough time looking at other women and girls in the eye, and not because I find it hard to do that, but because I found it virtually impossible, spiritually, politically, and emotionally, to reconcile the glaring gap between the choices available to them and the choices that are available to me. And because a lot of these women are brown-skinned, they don't look that different from me. And it definitely made me reflect a great deal on what it is that leads women to have to do things like this.
So I started the organization Ultimate Peace in 2009, and it was an idea that I had that came out of having played the sport of Ultimate for many years, having experienced a lot of personal changes because of playing the game at the highest levels and all over the world, and seeing that the sport itself had a lot of potential impact on bringing people together, as it did in my life. So because I was very tied into the Middle East, had lived in Israel and understood the culture pretty well, it was a natural connection for me to make. That is, bringing Ultimate to the Middle East to connect Israeli, Arab and Jewish, and Palestinian youth on the playing field and off.